definitely recommend apprenticeships. There is ultimately an apprenticeship in any industry now. I mean, they've even released a medicine doctor level 7 apprenticeship now, so that's a game changer, I think, for the industry. I genuinely think apprenticeships can offer the business quality, but you've got to be able to choose an amazing provider, and the quality of training must come first and foremost before any other decisions made with an apprenticeship. We put our learners here at Westminster Kingsway at the centre of that decision making. You can see from the training here today that they're getting it's really high quality, and that's the most important thing.
I think apprenticeships are the way forward. I've been a chef for 45 years. I started with apprenticeship. If I had my time again, I'd do apprenticeship again.
So my top tips for choosing apprenticeship providers and apprenticeships at Fuller's are just to really put the quality first. I think that's got to come first and foremost with any apprenticeship decision. There are lots of pitfalls with doing different training models of quality versus quantity, but you've got to put the apprentice first in that decision making. We work with 7-8 training providers for our chef programs alone. There's a lot to manage in terms of project management and client management, but actually, for me personally, I put all that work aside just to allow those apprentices to flourish ultimately, and see them in 10 years' time as head chefs is going to be the key for me. So that's the most important thing for me.
A top tip for people using apprenticeships, I would say look after your apprentice, they will look after you, and if you take time and give them time, that's what they need. They don't want to be shoved in a corner doing this, doing that. They need to be shown and be taught how to do things as well, not just used as part of a team. They need to have their own time to learn.
So I think apprenticeships are really important for the hospitality industry, mainly because they do bring in talent, and not just young talent. They bring in talent from across all age ranges, which is the great thing about apprenticeships now. There's no cap on whether you've got to be under 18 or over 18 for apprenticeships. So I think that's the most important thing. The talent across all age ranges. They bring in a lot of diversity. Some people don't necessarily think they want to work in hospitality until they get into that environment. So when we do assessments or recruitment for this program, they come into the college, they see an environment, they get interviewed at college, they do an English and maths assessments, they get to see that environment before they make that big step of joining the hospitality industry. So I think hospitality is huge, and actually sometimes you're a bit of a rabbit in the headlights. Granted, we're doing rabbit in terms of a workshop today, but I think you need to just be able to be eased into that environment just to make sure that you've got the right ability to make a decision for your future ultimately.
Apprenticeships are the way forward. C-levels are coming in, and for a young chef, a young person leaving school or wanting to change a career, that this is a perfect start for the apprenticeship, for the youngsters coming on to apprenticeship. They get a broader learning with apprenticeship. They cover the whole range of cooking methods and a variety of all the foods that they need to learn how to cook throughout their career.
So I would tell somebody that's about to start an apprenticeship themselves that they need to really look at the advert they're applying for. Especially with some adverts I've seen out there, you can get into the detail of the salary, the job description, etc. And actually what you need to look for is what the training you're going to be getting onto the apprenticeship. You wouldn't go to university without looking at what program you're going to be studying and who's delivering it. So actually, when you look at the advert for an apprenticeship, really look at the bottom and the finer detail of what training is going to be delivered and actually what the program is. So I have seen specific examples where the job description doesn't necessarily match what they'll be learning towards, so they just need to make sure that that's what they want to be learning. So don't look at the entire advert in its full depth before you make any decision.
As an individual starting an apprenticeship, I would say find a good workplace that does good quality of food, that also values you, that looks after your work-life balance, and also find a good college that could be attached to it, because that is the key. Because there's things that you'll learn at college, like game, that you might not do in your workplace, and we have extensive access to lots of different ingredients that you might not always see in your workplace. So, and it's a partnership between the workplace, the apprentice and the college.